for a beautiful, healthy looking beach bronze glow. Beach bronze glow? What? What's up, friends? Welcome back to my channel. I hope you all are doing well. It is a super gloomy day outside, but summer just arrived on my doorstep. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a first impressions review of these new cream bronzers from Charlotte Tilbury. I have tons of comparisons for you guys as requested, as is tradition. We're going to be doing a demo application, a wear test, giving you guys all of my thoughts. So if you are interested in hearing more of that, then keep watching. And if this is your first time here, welcome. My name is Sophia, and this is my channel where we talk about all things beauty and luxury. I upload content every single week on all the newest luxury beauty releases out on the market. I also love fashion videos, favorites videos, tag videos, you name it. So if you want to join our community, then hit that subscribe button and the notification bell to hear about every time I post a new video. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up, guys. It always helps me out. I kindly appreciate it. And as a reminder, I will be linking everything that I mentioned in this video in the description box down below so you guys can quickly access that. Those links are usually affiliate links, so I do earn a little bit of money every time you shop through my links, and your consideration is always extremely appreciated. All right, let's talk about these new cream bronzers from Charlotte Tilbury. I've got my notes ready. This is called the Beautiful Skin Sun-Kissed Glow Bronzer. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think Charlotte Tilbury has a cream bronzer, so welcome to the club, Charlotte Tilbury. We're excited for your cream bronzers. I know that she has those contour ones, which I am going to cover in the comparison portion of this video, but I'm really excited to be seeing more cream products from Charlotte Tilbury. I know that she recently launched those sort of like easy on the go kind of travel kits, so we're seeing more cream products from Charlotte for summer. Now with a luxury brand like Charlotte Tilbury, there's obviously going to be a luxury price point. These retail for $56, but I will talk about this a little bit later. You are getting a significant amount of product here. You are getting 0.74 ounces, which is in many cases like 3 times more that I'm getting with a lot of the other cream bronzers that I have in my collection. In addition, these are made in Italy, which we know that's where a lot of good luxury formulas come from. And it says right here that these have a 24-month shelf life. These come in 4 shades: fair, medium, tan, and deep. I have the shade fair because, let's be real, guys, this is the shade that I'm using. I'm using the fair shade, so this is the one that I got today. This is the one that I'll be doing comparisons of. And I know a lot of times this isn't super helpful when it comes to bronzer videos because we're all different shades, but I'm gonna try and do my best throughout this first impressions review to really tell you guys a lot about the formula as well, in addition to the color for my skin tone and compared to the other bronzers that are in my collection. Now, I purchased this on the Charlotte Tilbury website in the pre-sale with my own money. At the time of me filming this video, her website is the only place that you can purchase these bronzers. However, I would suspect that these will come to Sephora eventually, so if anything is sold out on her site right now, which I'm pretty sure some of the colors are already sold out, unfortunately, have no fear. I'm pretty sure that this is a permanent product in her collection, and I'm sure this is going to be coming to Sephora and other retailers as well. Now, I want to briefly read the description that they have about these bronzers on the Charlotte Tilbury website. It says, my new face and body cream bronzer with hyaluronic acid and sunshine pro vitamin D3 for a beautiful, healthy looking beachy bronze glow. It also says here that this lasts up to 16 hours. It is sweat proof and humidity proof, which I will be the judge of that, guys, okay? You guys know I go on my Peloton, I work out in my makeup. I really like to put these things to the test, so I am gonna be going to the gym later today, and we're gonna be testing out this bronzer. So like it says on the website, this is infused with hyaluronic acid and vitamin D3. I did look up every single ingredient that's in this cream bronzer, and I found that for the most part, there's really no other active ingredients in this. There is sodium hyaluronate, which is just the word for hyaluronic acid. It is a little bit lower on the list. I also found the vitamin D in there. Again, it's pretty low on the list. I would say the majority of the ingredients that are in this cream bronzer are pretty much just like thickeners, emollients, waxes, things that give it this texture, which we're going to talk about very, very soon. We're going to be talking about the formula, but I didn't really find any other active skincare ingredients to my knowledge within this bronzer. Going a little bit more in detail of what it says on the Charlotte Tilbury website, it also says that there are finely milled pearls which reflect the light for illuminating bronze glow and healthy looking skin. It also says that there is a elastomer elastic polymer for a glow glide texture that stretches over the skin for a second skin effect. In true Charlotte Tilbury fashion, it says on the the box that this boosts hydration by 136% in 1 hour. The skin appears smoother by 42%. And it also says here on the front of the box, science plus color. So Charlotte Tilbury is kind of claiming that this is very scientific. It's going to improve your skin. She does this with a lot of her products. She takes kind of like that skincare approach. So I want to talk a little bit more about that later on in my final thoughts, whether I thought that to be true. But do keep in mind, guys, when you read the fine print, the sample size for testing these claims is pretty small. A lot of them are only tested on 15 women, 30 women, and then there's a couple that are tested on 100 women. So do check the fine print, guys, when you're sort of looking through these claims, in case those are something that is a super important factor to you when choosing this bronzer. Quick note also about the packaging. I love it. You guys know I love gold. I love sort of shiny, glitzy packaging. I think that it's just gorgeous. It's like a beautiful sunburst. She has done similar things like this before, so it's not surprising from Charlotte Tilbury. I think her packaging is usually on point, but I'm really digging this. I also love the really large pan size. It feels substantial. I like that it's big enough that you can fit a sponge or any kind of brush in there comfortably. I also like the little like swirly twirly pan embossing. It kind of low-key reminds me of chocolate ice cream. My mind immediately goes to food, but like there's just something about it that looks, I don't know, it just looks like a swirly twirly chocolate dream to me. I'm really liking it. I know that it's like pretty much almost disappearing after I've used this bronzer once, but I'm digging it. I like the presentation from Charlotte Tilbury. All right, friends, so those are all the basic details that you need to know about this bronzer. What we're gonna do next is I'm gonna swatch this for you. I'm gonna talk a little bit more about the formula, how it feels. We're gonna apply it to my face. Then I'm gonna do a bunch of comparisons and a quick wear test. And then finally, I will check in with you guys at the end of the day. I will give you all of my final thoughts for this first impressions video. Timestamps will be included down below in case you want to skip ahead. And yeah, that's all I have to say. Let's get into testing this bronzer. Okay, party people, I have you up close. Let's get into this. I'm going to be swatching this bronzer, applying it to my face, really talking through the formula, and then we're going to get into a couple of comparisons with other popular bronzers in my collection. I am doing a live demo for this review because I think that kind of watching me apply it, chatting through it, and really talking about the formula as I'm putting it on my face is going to be helpful for you guys, especially when it comes to cream products. I feel like we want to understand if it's going to disturb the makeup we have underneath. What is the finish going to be like? What does it feel like going onto the face? So I'm really going to try and do my best to tell you guys what that's like and how it differentiates from other bronzers that you might already own. So once again, this is the packaging right here. I know, super reflective. I just want to kind of hold it up maybe to my hand so you can see just how big it is. I really like that it is a nice wide pan because I think it's going to be easy to kind of get your brush into it. So I definitely appreciate that. Once again, we have the little swirl pattern right here, and you can kind of see right there that I've already swatched it. And so I want to swatch this for you guys, and I'm just going to sort of show you what it looks like when you drag your finger through it. As you can see, it's very thick. It feels super buttery, not too slippy, and it has almost like a little bit of a silicone-y feel, if I might describe it a certain way. Like, do you hear that right there? There's not that much of a stick to it, and you can even see in the pan there's really barely any sheen. I know it's a pretty cloudy day here, so I do have a little bit of a ring light on my face at the moment, but I'm just trying to show you guys, like, there's really no sheen to it. It has a very almost like cream to powder type of finish, and let me swatch it for you right here. It's very pigmented. I think a little bit is going to go a long way. And once again, you can tell there's really not a lot of shine. It feels very moisturizing and buttery and creamy. Honestly, the texture, at least swatching it so far, feels really nice, but it's not sticky. And when I spread it around, even so, it doesn't feel sticky. It's a very dry touch kind of feel. So we're gonna see how this looks on our face, but I did just wanna swatch that for you guys. This shade is called Fair, and I would describe this as being neutral, maybe a little bit cool leaning, but I think that this is gonna be the perfect shade for my face. So just wanted to show you that to start off so you can kind of get a sense for how it blends out and what the texture is like. So let's put this on my face. Now, I like to apply my cream bronzers with a brush. I have two of my favorites right here. First up, I have this synthetic dual fiber brush from Clinique. I will link these down below. You guys are always asking me about this brush. It's fantastic. Love it for all kinds of cream products. And then I have this one from BK Beauty. This is the BK Beauty 105. I use this with powders. I use it with creams, and I just thought it would be good to try something that's a little bit more of like a buffing brush, and that is bigger. So we'll try both of these out out and see what works best. All right, so I'm just gonna tap my little Clinique brush in there. I honestly think that at first glance, this looks like a powder. It doesn't look like a cream because it is so smooth and buttery. So I'm just really interested to see how this applies. Okay, so you could see I'm stippling it on and then just kind of blending it in, and this doesn't have any scent. If I really stick my nose in there, it does have a little bit of a makeup-y scent to it, but no kind of like added fragrance. Okay, all right. That wasn't as intensely pigmented as I thought it was gonna be. It looks really natural, so I'm just gonna swipe my brush across to see. Okay, yeah. We're picking up more pigment. I didn't want to go in like balls to the wall just to start. I should also mention that as my base, I am wearing the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Foundation in the shade 2. I thought, you know what? Let's stick with the Charlotte Tilbury family to see how that works. So this is what we are seeing with one layer on this cheek and no layers on this cheek. You can see it's a very beautiful natural bronze. Now what I wanna see is when I layer it over this area where I've been breaking out, does it kind of disturb the foundation underneath? Let's take a look and try that out. And I'm gonna be very careful. I don't think that that was too bad. It definitely feels a little bit stickier on the face than it did on my hand, but I'm really enjoying that gleam that it's giving the skin. Can you guys see that? We have a little bit of glow from the Beautiful Skin Foundation, but I feel like this is giving an extra little bit of juiciness to the cheek. Let's do this cheek with the BK Beauty brush. So here I have my BK Beauty 105. Let's just tap, tap, tap into this. This is very easy to use. It's very easy to use because all the bristles are one length, and I think with something like this, because it's a very thick formula, this works great. If you're nervous about maybe disturbing the makeup you have underneath, maybe go for a brush like this or use a sponge, except I don't really like to use sponges all that much. You guys know I'm a bit of a brush girl. Okay, so you can see I got a little bit more of a smoother application with that just because of the shape of this brush. I think that this Clinique brush works really well with more liquidy formulas. But first impressions, guys, I think that this looks beautiful. Let's do the hair test. Let's see. Okay, so we've got some stickage. We have some stickage, but honestly, it really doesn't feel that sticky. It feels like a cream bronzer. It goes on extremely smooth. This is a very buttery formula. It does add a bit of like a natural glow. I'll just get in really close so you guys can see what that is looking like. And it feels very comfortable on the skin. The color is fantastic. Like this is a great color. If you are fair like me, I'm really glad I got this one and I didn't get the next shade darker, because I think that that would be a little bit overwhelming. So first impressions, I think this is gorgeous. I think it's beautiful. I think going in with a brush is probably the way to go, maybe a sponge. Okay, friends, so I actually have been wearing this bronzer for about 30 minutes now because I just wanted to see if it would set down, if anything would change, kind of look at myself up close in the mirror. And I don't think that it sets down any more than when you first apply it. I really tried to look close in the mirror to see, what do I think of this bronzer? I don't think that it disturbed any of my makeup underneath. I definitely feel that it's there, but it almost feels like when you kind of just apply moisturizer to your face, you know, that like freshly moisturized feeling like after your moisturizer has sunken in, if that makes sense. Like I can feel that it's there. It's not sticky, but it's there. And I think, you know, it's giving a nice healthy glow to the skin. It's not glowy. I don't see any like reflecting particles, any glitter, anything like that. It's kind of like a natural matte effect. So I just wanted to bring that up. I don't feel like it sets down or changes after it's been on the face for a while. It just feels creamy. Like it just feels creamy and nice. Like I don't notice that my hair is sticking to it or anything like that, as I've been just kind of, you know, I had like a Zoom meeting and whatnot. So I just wanted to mention that that's how it's looking, but I will share more in my final thoughts. Okay, friends, now that we have that demo out of the way, I'm going to be comparing this bronzer with a couple of other bronzers in my collection. I asked you guys on YouTube and on Instagram what you wanted me to compare this against, and by far the one that you guys mentioned the most was the Westman Atelier Face Trace Contour Stick. So right here, I've got the Face Trace in the color color Biscuit, which is the lightest color. And then I have the medium color in this cute little mini in the color Truffle. So let's compare. All right, so here we have the swatches right here. This is the Charlotte Tilbury in Fair. This is the Westman Atelier in Biscuit, and this is the Westman Atelier in Truffle. Now I'm gonna do my best for each of these comparisons to comment on the difference between not only the formula, but also the color. So right here, I think what you're seeing is that the Charlotte Tilbury, it's a little bit more neutral, maybe a touch warmer. I think that this is slightly more cool toned. And then Truffle as well. This is something that I use as a bronzer. This is definitely warmer and is clearly darker. My guess is that this one is probably closer to the shade that is one shade darker in the Charlotte Tilbury line. And then in terms of the formula, the Charlotte Tilbury, I mean, you can probably see in the light there. See how this is a little bit oily? That's from the Westman Atelier. The Westman Atelier just has much more of a sheen. They're a lot creamier. They're more emollient. It is a clean beauty formula. So typically from that, we see formulas that are a little bit more emollient because they're not using a lot of these ingredients that kind of are thickening agents and sort of micro waxes and those types of things that we're seeing in the Charlotte Tilbury. The Charlotte Tilbury, just more of a powdery finish, whereas the Westman Atelier, it just has more of a sheen to it. And in my experience applying these to the face, I find that to be true in the application as well. So that is the comparison there. I also wanted to mention that the Westman Atelier goes for $48 if you get that full size, and you're only getting 0.21 ounces. So I do want to emphasize the fact that the Charlotte Tilbury is such a much better value. You're getting over triple the product in the Charlotte Tilbury cream bronzer. Now I know that it's not clean beauty. It doesn't come in a stick format. So those are some things that you might want to consider when you're choosing between them in addition to the color and the formula. Next up, I have one of my favorite cream bronzers, and that is from Milk Makeup. This is their cream bronzer stick in the shade Baked. I want to show you guys right here the difference between these in color. This is the one from Charlotte, and this is Baked from Milk Makeup. They're close, but they're not the same. The one from Milk Makeup is definitely just a tad bit warmer. Now, what I will say is when I was using this Charlotte Tilbury bronzer, I definitely was reminded the most of the experience that I get from the Milk Makeup stick, because I feel like this bronzer, it just has a very interesting level of blendability. It's very user-friendly. Usually if somebody asks me for a cream bronzer and they're not used to using cream products, I will recommend this one. Somehow it just has a little bit more of like a very blendable powdery finish. I don't know if they're using similar ingredients. I think that the Charlotte Tilbury formula is maybe just a tad bit thicker. It's definitely a unique formula, but I think out of all of the bronzers that I'm going to be showing you guys today, I think that the Milk Makeup one is probably the closest. And in terms of value, this retails for $21, but you're only getting 0.19 ounces of product. This takes me a really long time to get through though, so if the Charlotte Tilbury sticker price is kind of shocking you, you might want to check this out. I think it's a very affordable option. Next up, we have another stick bronzer, and this is from NUDESTIX. This is the NUDESTIX Nudies in Bondi Bay. This is another one of my favorite cream bronzers. I guess I like all these cream bronzers, but this is definitely one of the ones that I've been using the longest since I got into cream products. This right here is the Charlotte Tilbury, and this here is the NUDESTIX Nudies in Bondi Bay. You can see right off the bat that this is definitely a tad bit warmer, and I always say that this one is just a little bit creamier and more emollient than the Milk Makeup, and I would definitely say it is the same comparison here with the Charlotte Tilbury. It has a little bit more of a sheen. It's not sticky. It's still a fantastic formula, but if you're looking for something that is just a tad bit warmer and maybe gives a little bit more of a kind of sheen to it, then I think you would like this one from NUDESTIX Bondi Bay. Next up, I have the cream bronzer from Fenty Beauty. This is the Cheeks Out Freestyle cream bronzer. This is what it looks like in the pan, and then I will show you guys the swatches right here. I actually think this is very similar in shade. This is probably the closest shade match that I have that we're gonna look at today, but I think that the formula is very different. I actually decluttered this, and so this is in like my declutter pile to give away to someone in my family, but I still have it, so I'm swatching it for you guys today. You will know if you watched my products I'm getting rid of video that I don't really care for this bronzer all that much. It is very emollient. I believe it has a high coconut oil content, so it doesn't really dry down, and hopefully you guys can see right here, this one from Fenty, it just has so much more of a sheen, whereas this one from Charlotte Tilbury looks much more matte. Maybe the Fenty is just a tad, just a smidgen darker and a little bit warmer, but I think that the shade match is very similar. This one from Fenty also retails for $34, just like the one from NUDESTIX, and it has just a little bit less product. It's more affordable, but honestly, I don't really recommend this one. I think that this one from Charlotte Tilbury is much more user-friendly. I have a new neighbor who likes to opera sing at the top of her lungs every afternoon when I'm trying to film, so I hope you guys can hear her right now. She has a gorgeous voice, but we are trying to talk about bronzers right now. And the next bronzer that I want to compare is this one from Tarte. This is the Breezy Cream Bronzer in the color Seychelles. I believe I have a mini, so I want to show you guys what this looks like. This formula reminds me a lot of the Milk Makeup, except it's not in a stick form. I think that the texture is really similar, just like with the Milk Makeup being kind of a similar texture, except the color's a little bit different. It's a little bit peachier, a little bit warmer. I do think that, especially if you get this in a mini, it would be not a dupe, but it would be a nice affordable alternative. Both of them have a pretty good dry down. It's just the colors are a little bit different. Next up, I have the Tom Ford Shade and Illuminate in the shades 0.5 and 1.0. Now, I know a lot of you guys, you usually use this as more of a contour type product, but some of you use it as bronzer or bronzer. So I want to show you this because a lot of you have this in your collection, so I think it's a good shade reference. The formula is very, very different. You guys have heard me talk about this product before. It's very emollient, and you can clearly see right there, look how much more shine that has than the Charlotte Tilbury swatch right here. This is the Charlotte Tilbury in Fair. This is the Tom Ford Shade and Illuminate in 0.5, and this is the Tom Ford in 1.0. You can see here the 0.5. It's a little bit like more cool tone, more kind of like a peachy tone. I think it makes it better for contour. And then the 1.0, it's definitely darker. And I do feel like this shade pulls darker when it goes onto the face than the one from Charlotte Tilbury. So I wanted to show you a quick shade comparison there. I don't think that these are really that close, and I think that they are very different in formulation. Lastly, I have two liquid formulations that I want to show you all real quick. The first one is the Chantecaille Radiance Gel Bronzer. I did a full review of this here on my channel, and it's one of my favorite cream slash liquid bronzers. This is a gel formula. The one from Chantecaille, it's definitely a lot warmer. I do think when you spread it out, it looks a little bit more natural. I also think this one from Chantecaille, it's much glowier. It has a little bit more of like a radiance to it, whereas most of the bronzers that I've swatched for you guys so far, they don't really have any like illumination in them. I really feel like most of them are matte. The really unique thing about this one from Chantecaille is that it has a little bit of glowiness. It gives more of a shimmeriness to the face when it's blended out, whereas this one from Charlotte Tilbury, I really think it is pretty squarely matte. And of course, we gotta compare the Charlotte Tilbury Cream Bronzer with the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Contour Wand. This is in the shade Fair Medium. And I know this is a contour wand, but I think a lot of you use this to add a little bit of warmth and definition to the face. So I wanna show you guys that they do look pretty different. The fair shade in the bronzer is a lot warmer and it's lighter in tone, whereas the contour wand blended out, when you first put it on, it looks very, very brown, but when you blend it out, it is cooler in tone and it is darker. So I actually think that this is the perfect complement to the bronzer. I'm gonna be applying this to my cheeks in a second when I finish up my makeup. And I think it's gonna be just the right amount of sort of coolness and darkness to add a little bit more of like a chiseled effect to the cheeks. Whereas with bronzer, I like to put that in the areas of my face where I naturally tan. So I did one full big swatch here for you guys of some of the ones that I know you care the most about. So this is the Charlotte Tilbury. These two are the Westman Atelier in Biscuit and Truffle. Then we have the Milk Makeup in Baked, and then we have the Fenty in Butta Biscuit. And I'll just kind of move my hands here so that you can clearly see the one that I think is the closest is the Milk Makeup in Baked. A good alternative might be the Tarte Sea Breezy Bronzer in the color Seychelles. I think that's probably the best alternative. But at the end of the day, I do think that the Charlotte Tilbury is an incredible value because of how much product you're getting. And I do think it is the most matte out of all of these if you're somebody that wants more of a matte finish. Now what I'm gonna do is go finish up the rest of my makeup. I have a couple of other things that I need to do today. I'm gonna be going to the gym, running some errands. I have a lot more work to do, and I'm gonna check in with you guys at the end of the day. And we're gonna talk a little bit about how this bronzer wears as I go outside in the humidity. I do my workouts, I'm sweating a little bit. We'll talk about the longevity, and I will share everything in my final thoughts. I'm back. Okay, friends, I wanted to check in with you real quick before the sun completely goes down so you can see what this bronzer looks like after wearing it for a full afternoon. I also went and did a weightlifting workout, not sweating profusely, but just kind of like in a humid environment, working out. If you were to be wearing this, you know, for an afternoon, running errands, kind of in the summer, I feel like it would be a similar situation. So I just want to show you what the bronzer looks like. I did layer on some blush and highlighter. I thought that it layered over it perfectly fine. I had no problems at all. Again, this bronzer has a very powdery kind of finish to it, like a soft cream finish, and I think that it looks amazing. I really like the way that this looks. I am going to be testing this out this weekend. It's supposed to be like 95 degrees and humid here in Boston, so I'm going to keep testing this, and I will update you guys in another video, maybe like an updates video or like a mini reviews check-in style of video. This is a first impressions, but I did want to do a little bit of a wear test just so I can see, does this disappear after like an hour? And it definitely does not. I definitely think that it looks beautiful. It still looks bronze. I even went in and put another layer on a little bit later just to see if it would build up, and I definitely thought it built up without getting cakey. So I do want to mention that. Now I want to share with you guys what are my final thoughts, at least for now, as a first impressions on sort of the color, the formula, the claims of this product, and of course the value. So talking about the color first, I think that this is a fantastic color. Obviously in my collection, I have some bronzers that are a little more cool tone, some are a little peachy, some are a little bit warmer, but I think that this color is going to work well for a lot of fair skin tones. I think if you are very fair like me, you do have to make sure that your bronzer is not too warm or too yellow or orangey, because many times when we tan, if we do tan, we don't get like super orange. So I think that this is a really nice neutral tone. I think that you could easily use it in the hollows of the cheeks or on the sides of the face if you're someone that likes more of a bronzer style of bronzer, or you can do what I'm going to be doing, which is kind of putting it on the high points of the face and then going in with maybe the Hollywood Contour Wand or the Tom Ford Shade and Illuminate, which do have much more of like a cooler, like shadowy nature to them. I also like that it is very pigmented and buildable. I think especially because there's only 4 shades in this line, I'm hoping that that will make it more suitable for more skin tones, because if you're fairer than me, you can go in with a little bit of a lighter hand or a sponge, or if you are deeper, you can layer it on a little bit better. And as you can see, like it didn't get cakey at all. Even when I put my powder products on top of it, none of that got cakey. It all went on very seamlessly. One of the claims that Charlotte makes on her site is that this has finely milled pearls. I do want to say that I think, once again, this has a very matte effect. Like all of this glow and shine that you're seeing right here on my cheek, that is from the glowy blush and highlighter that I had on. When we saw it before upon first application, it was very matte. I don't think that this is shimmery or glowy in any way. I just want to mention that because of that claim, I don't really see that. They must be very finely milled. They must be very finely milled so that you're just getting a very natural kind of creamy look to the skin, but I don't think that this is glowy at all. I think it is a very matte bronzer. In fact, I think it's probably the mattest cream bronzer that I have in my collection, as we saw by the swatches. A lot of the other ones that I have are just a little bit more emollient, have a little bit more of a sheen, and I don't feel any stickiness at all. In fact, I would say it has set down even more now that I've layered like blush on top of that cream bronzer. Now that's pretty much bringing me into what I want to say about the formula. I really like this formula. It's very beautiful. It's very creamy. It has, I don't want to say that it feels silicone-y, but it has a sort of cream to powder feel. In fact, when I first looked at the compact, I thought it looked like a powder bronzer. And then when you touch your finger into it, like It's very creamy, it's very blendable, it's very user-friendly, and I don't love every product that Charlotte Tilbury comes out with, but what I do like about a lot of her products is that they are pretty user-friendly. A lot of times she'll show you, you know, this is how you use the eyeshadows, and she tries to make them very effortless, so I definitely feel like this is very in line with a lot of the products in her brand. I think a lot of people, even those who don't like cream bronzers all that much, are gonna get along very well with this bronzer. As I mentioned a second ago, it doesn't get sticky. It really is just kind of set down straight from the start. You can definitely feel that creaminess, and it gives a very natural kind of healthy look to the skin, but your hair is not going to be sticking to it. It's very unique. I don't think that I have any cream bronzers like this in my collection. I think the closest one I have, as I mentioned before, is probably the one from Milk Makeup and like maybe the one from Tarte, but they're still not the same. I don't think that they have quite the pigmentation and that like soft touch to them, but they are very similar. I really think it's a unique formula. It is very beautiful. Does it last for 16 hours and is it sweat proof and humidity proof? As I just mentioned with my wear test, I think this is gonna last great. I need to do more testing for that. This is a first impressions video, but I think that this will last pretty well. And the reason is because it does have that powdery feel. It's not sticky or slippy. This doesn't have a ton of oils in it. It doesn't have coconut oil in it. It's not like a slippy and slidey kind of shiny cream bronzer. So I do think it's going to be very long lasting if you're somebody that has to wear a mask for your profession, or you're doing long shifts, or you work in a sweaty environment. Maybe you're just on vacation, you're out in the sun and you want your makeup to last all day. I think this is gonna be a very good bet, at least comparing with bronzers that I have in my collection. Usually if I want something to last that long, I'm gonna be going for a powder bronzer. I think this is a really good alternative if you really like that natural look of a cream bronzer, but you want a little bit more longevity. The one thing that annoys me just a little bit is that Charlotte is so insistent on marketing her products as skincare. It says on the box, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, it says science plus color. Like, there's no science in this. If you look at the ingredients, it's basically like they created this bronzer and they were like, what's trendy right now? Hyaluronic acid. Throw it in the bag. Let's sprinkle a little hyaluronic acid in there. I kind of feel like a lot of brands are doing that right now. Maybe it does add something to the formulation. I am not a cosmetic chemist, but just like looking at the ingredients, like the hyaluronic acid and the vitamin D are not super high on the list, and I can't imagine that they are improving your skin on a day-to-day basis. I don't like, why do we need hyaluronic acid in our bronzer? We don't. We're really not putting our bronzer all over our face. We're only putting it in certain spots. I would say don't buy this bronzer because you're looking for it to drastically improve your skin. Buy it because it seems to be an amazing bronzer. It works really well. It's long wearing. It glides across the skin. But that whole sort of like skincare spiel and like the claims about it's like 93% this, 81% that, or whatever, I just think it's a little bit overboard. I don't think that it is totally necessary. I think that it is marketing, but I would love to hear what you guys think about that. Do you buy these products because of those skincare ingredients? Is it something that sort of like draws you in and piques your interest? I would love to hear about that. Finally, I think that this bronzer is a fantastic value. It is very expensive, but you're getting a ton of product. If you don't mind kind of large packaging and a lot of product at one time, if you feel like you're going to use it up before that 24-month shelf life, which is pretty long for a cream product, then I think this is going to be great for you. Oh, hi, Minnie. Oh, look who came to say hello. Okay, goodbye. Sorry about that. And I also love the packaging. I think it's super luxurious. All in all, guys, I'm in love with this bronzer. I can't wait to use it. I feel like I'm going to be reaching for it a lot. I will definitely keep you updated. But my final thoughts here on this first impressions, I really like this. Great value, beautiful packaging. Overall, amazing luxury experience. Mwah, chef's kiss from Charlotte Tilbury. But enough about what I think. What do you guys think? Sound off in the comments down below and let me know if you guys picked this up. Is this something that you're very interested in? Do you like cream bronzers? Is this piquing your interest? I would love to know. I did notice that some of the shades have already sold out, so I do want to get this video up for you guys ASAP in case you want to get this. I feel like this is going to be a very hot item for the summer. I feel like this is going to be all over social media and TikTok, etc. So definitely comment down below and let me know what you think. Also, guys, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up if you liked it. Leave me your feedback down below. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel, what are you waiting for? You gotta subscribe and join the fam. So hit that button and hit the notification bell to hear about every time I upload a new video. I will also right here put up my Instagram account so that you guys can follow me on Instagram. That is the best place to keep up with me and contact me on the reg. If you guys have any questions, that's a great place to connect with me. I am always sharing with you guys when these things drop, when the pre-sale is live, when things go on sale, when these things come back in stock. So if you're interested in all of that, definitely follow me on Instagram and connect with me over there. I hope that you guys are having a fantastic day, and I will see you in my next one. Goodbye.